Okay, here's the sergeant. I guess the guy who runs around to make sure the street dog gets close. So I got questions for him. Go ahead and we'll ask the level for the gloves and tell us about the so.
Good morning, good afternoon. How is everybody doing? My name again is Sergeant Weathersby, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about some of the things that we're doing right now, some of the measures that we're taking, the approaches to actually getting the things done. Some of what you've seen already in terms of the results is due to the fact that we're approaching it in a particular fashion. And so far, we're pleased with the results. Hopefully you are as well. And if you're not, I walk every day I work. So one of the differences now, instead of it just being an issue where officers are asked to go out and do something, I go do it. And then they follow me as I do it. So far, that seems to be working better than it was the other way around. So we're going to kind of stick with that. And I should be seeing most of you fairly regularly at your businesses as I go back and forth. So I'm hoping that we're going to build a rapport where things come directly to me. And I can kind of hit things and deal with things right away, and there's no middleman, you don't need to call the captain. I'll be right there. And so we'll know each other pretty well. Now, one of the issues that the captain talked about was the loitering. A lot of it we found, even in talking to Ben and looking at some of the statistical information that's been pulled up, a lot of this is not criminal conduct, but nevertheless it has people in fear, it has an impact on business. And so we're looking at ways to try to impact it without necessarily coming across as though we don't want, sometimes we've been told we don't want black people in the neighborhood anymore. You know, you're just here moving us out so that you can make room for other people. We don't want young black men in the Bay to feel as though this is no longer their community and they don't belong here. So we're sensitive to their issues as well as we're sensitive to business. We're trying to meet both. We're trying to satisfy both. So far we've had a good response to the young people that they understand what we're out there doing. A lot of that has involved getting our beat officers to go out and start talking to people instead of just issuing citations. We're trying to build rapport with folks so that they understand that what we're trying to do is to make the neighborhood that is theirs, and we acknowledge that, make it a better place. And we only ask them that if you're going to be on 3rd Street, just act right. We're not saying go away. We're not saying leave, take off. Just behave while you're here. And if this is your neighborhood, then respect it. Another one of the things that we're trying to do is we're working with DPW to get the streets, the sidewalks and so forth along 3rd Street just are really bad in some areas. And there have been places where guys and girls have hung out for years and it shows. Right. And I think it really has an impact when you walk down the street and you just look at the conditions. It's not somewhere you want to be. So I think that we have the ability, working with other city agencies, to kind of see some of this stuff and say, look, let's have street cleaning done a little bit more often. The place looks a little bit nicer. People start to feel a little bit, take a little more pride in what we're going on. And I think, again, it's the police department doing something besides writing tickets. We do not want to give people the idea that we're out there to put the heavy hand on people. Citations and arrests, that's the last place we go. We want to start off with building relationships and encouraging people to help us in our mission to make things a little bit better. So far, so good. Obviously, we got a long, hot summer to go. So our toughest months have not yet come, but we're encouraged by what we've done already. We've got, as the captain mentioned, some new officers who are assigned. We're also having officers who are assigned to patrol cars get out, walk around, and I'm walking along with them. We're working on clean streets. As I mentioned, we're going to do a stop program, which essentially is a traffic program. Lots of double crossing on 3rd, lots of folks having conversations leaning into the cars. Again, that creates a real problem for the 3rd Street corridor, so we're going to be doing some programs specifically designed to discourage that. And again, it's the first thing we try to start out with is kind of creating an environment where, you get the idea, don't do this. Now, obviously, along the way, citations will be written probably, but we're going to try to start out with just letting people know, pushing them along, keeping that pressure up to let them know, look, there's a different behavior that we're looking for. There's a few folks along there that are homeless. We've got a homeless coordinator, Sue Lavin, at the station, who is working to try to find alternatives to them. They live in cars, and they've been living in cars and selling what they can sell to kind of live as long as they can. And so we're kind of walking a fine line there. We're not trying to be too heavy with it. We're trying to ease them into some sort of a program. Sue's been very successful at helping people in the Bayview in that capacity. And so again, it's the approach of trying to find a way where we can live together and get people services that they need, rather than writing citations and put people in jail that we really don't think need to be there. The plaza, obviously, is something that we're spending a lot of time on Wednesdays. I don't know if you've noticed when they have the garden cell out there. It's wonderful the impact when you use that space. We'd like to see more groups, more people bring that space to life. And then I think somebody said, well, I thought that space was for us. I think that we would use that space more if there was something going on there to use it. So we're trying to look around and see what alternatives, see what other things can be done so that that space can be enlivened, and then it's something that every day is a real deterrent for people to just hang there and do nothing all day. I think that the space could use usage from everybody. Everybody in the community should feel like they can be there. One of the things that we're hoping that's going to be impactful here that may not have been used before is a lot of guys, when they see us come for a period, they always know, well, how long can this last? You know, they'll just be here for a little bit and then they'll get tired and then they'll go away and then we'll come back and we'll retake that area. Well, we already are hip to that. So our plan is to stay, to keep going, to keep being tireless as we have been, so that after a month, after 2 months, they kind of go, oh, well, I guess this is really the way it's going to be. And it's completely understandable that for a period, their expectation is going to be, you ain't serious. You can't be. Nobody ever's been you be. I'm serious. So I'm not going anywhere. So for the time that I have this responsibility, I walk it. And when I walk it, I expect to see my officers take care of business, and I expect to see things in a certain way. 3rd Street is now my home, because I'm walking it all the time. And I like clean streets. I like things tidy. I like things squared away. That's just how I am. So unfortunately, for some, that's going to be a little bit of a, an issue. But I'm hoping we'll get through it. Again, if you have questions, you can ask now. You can ask anytime, because like I said, I will be out there every day.
I got two-fold questions.
Yes, sir.
I was reading in the paper where there was going to be a budget cut for enforcement officers.
For supervisors.
Yeah, and the fire department.
Right.
How is that going to impact safety with the statistics that the other officers mentioned earlier? The second question is the captain or the chief is going to be replaced by a new chief. Is that going to have an impact on daily operations?
Based on what I can only take, based on what I see and what I know at my level at this point, I don't see those issues as having an impact at this point. We've already got personnel in place. It's not like we're hiring new personnel in order to run this. I've been at Bayview Station for 6 years, so my assignment on day watch to take over this particular program is not a budgetary issue. So I don't anticipate that being an issue right now. I think far more importantly to this issue is that we have folks that are familiar with the problems, understand the delicate issues that we have with our young people out there, and that we approach it in the right way so that it's sustainable. So it's something that we can keep going, and that it'll be a good thing for everybody. And I see nothing at this point that's going to impact that.
So when you're saying that the article that I read about the reducing officers is not going to impact their views?
No, that I don't know.
Could you repeat the questions again?
He's asking whether or not there's talk about reducing the number of officers in the city. There's a board of supervisors conversation about it. I don't know if it'll actually happen, but it's been talked about, and that also would affect fire as well. He's concerned that that could potentially hamper what we're doing on 3rd Street, because, or in general, just hamper what's happening at Bayview, because some of the personnel could be moved. Those are all things I just simply can't answer at this point. What I can tell you is that all of the folks that are in my group, we're all senior people. So we're here. And I don't anticipate any problem coming up with that. And certainly, hopefully, if we're doing a good job for everybody, and that comes up, you'll get up and say, oh no, you ain't taking our police officers away. That's what I would hope would happen. So we're going to work real hard to earn your trust and earn your support so that we can count on you when that time comes. Well, I know you have a lot more going on your agenda. For those of you I haven't met, it's a pleasure to meet you. Like I said, I'm walking 3rd Street very regularly, so I look forward to meeting everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.